It is now time to rank some albums every Sunday right here on this channel. Greetings all, Jolum here with an all new albums ranking video where I today look at the discography of Quiet Riot, a heavy metal act that was formed in Los Angeles, California, USA in the year 1973. The original lineup comprised of frontman Kevin DuBrow, guitarist Randy Rhoads, bassist Kelly Garney, and a drummer named Drew Forsythe. Despite multiple lineup changes and brief breakups through the years, Quiet Riot's legacy is always heavy metal, with a mixture of glam and hard rock. It's been 52 years since its formation, and the current lineup is comprised of Jizzy Pearl, formerly of Love Hate, and Rat, Alex Grossi, who was in a supergroup called Hookers and Blow with ex-Guns N' Roses keyboardist Dizzy Reed, Rudy Sarzo, a longtime Quiet Riot bassist who has also been the bassist for Ozzy Osbourne and Whitesnake, and a drummer named Johnny Kelly, formerly of the goth metal group Type O Negative. A couple of weeks ago, a YouTube channel called In Metal We Trust has ranked all of Quiet Riot's studio albums based on personal interpretation of values. The 1 to 39% means the album is forgettable. The 40 to 49% means the album is poor. The 50 to 59% means the album is bad. The 60 to 69% means the album is average. The 70 to 74% means the album is decent. The 75 to 79% means the album is good. The 80 to 89% means the album is highly recommendable. The 90 to 94% means the album is a global masterpiece. And the 95 to 99% means the album is the chosen one. The categories for forgettable, poor, bad, average, and decent have all white values. The good album has a green value. Highly recommendable has a yellow value. The global masterpiece has an orange value. And the chosen one has a red value. Number 14, Quiet Riot. The record was released exclusively in Japan on March 2nd, 1978, featuring Randy Rhoads, who later gained recognition for playing on Ozzy's first two solo albums, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. According to In Metal We Trust, the YouTube channel, this got a 47% rating, which means the record is poor. Decades later, music critic Martin Popoff said that the first Quiet Riot record is more glam pop than heavy metal or hard rock, like in the band's 80s output. I think the American audience weren't ready for Quiet Riot. To be fair, the same American audience weren't ready for Kiss when they released their debut record 4 years earlier. The two cover songs, Tin Soldier, originally from Small Faces, and Glad All Over from the Dave Clark 5, were the standouts. Number 13, Quiet Riot 10, 2014. The first studio album since the passing of longtime singer Kevin DuBrow, after a cocaine overdose ended his life. Jizzy Pearl of the band Love Hate and later bands like Rat and LA Guns sang lead vocals on all the studio tracks. Longtime drummer Frankie Pinelli did all the drums. Alex Grossi did all the guitar parts. Rudy Sarzo did the bass tracks on songs like Bang for Your Buck and Backside of Water. Tony Franklin did bass parts on songs like Rock in Peace and Back on You, while another bass guitarist, Chuck Wright, did the rest of the bass tracks. According to In Metal We Trust, this got a rating of 65%, meaning the album is average. Rock in Peace, Kevin, you are missed. Number 12, Quiet Riot 2, 1978. Another record released exclusively in Japan on December 2nd of 1978. It's Randy Rhoads' final record with the group before joining Ozzy's solo band the following year. Although Rudy Sarzo is credited and pictured on the cover, Quiet Riot's second record was recorded before he joined the band, after a hostile falling out between singer Kevin DuBrow and original bassist Kelly Garney, where the latter hatched a plan to kill DuBrow at the studio, which led to his arrest and termination from the group. Afterglow of Your Love is another cover originally done by Small Faces, and the opening track, Slick Black Cadillac, would get re-recorded in 1983. More on that later. This also got a 65% rating as an average album from In Metal We Trust. Number 11, Rehab, 2006. It's the final Quiet Riot studio album for singer Kevin DuBrow before his tragic death in November of 2007. This Quiet Riot lineup featured DuBrow, Frankie Banali, Tony Franklin, and a guitarist named Neil Cetron, who did the recording and mixing of this album. Glenn Hughes of Deep Purple fame and later supergroups like Black Country Community and the Dead Daisies had co-written songs like Blind Faith, Old Habits Die Hard, and In Harm's Way. He even did co-lead vocals on their rendition of the Spooky Tooth cover, Evil Woman. Alex Grossi did guitar tracks for songs like Free and Strange Days, that's D-A-Z-E. This average album got a 67% rating, courtesy of In Metal We Trust. Number 10, Hollywood Cowboys, 2019. Quiet Riot's most recent studio effort, the last for drummer Frankie Banali, who died from pancreatic cancer in 2020. It was also the last record to feature Chuck Wright and singer James Durbin before their departures after this album was released. Don't Call It Love, Heartbreak City, and In the Blood were released as singles. This one got a 72% rating from In Metal We Trust, calling this record a decent one. But according to some reviews, it belongs in the average category. Number 9, Road Rage, 2017. Quiet Riot's 13th studio effort was released in August of 2017. It features James Durbin of American Idol fame, making his debut with the band on this record. The music video for the single Can't Get Enough was directed by band manager and Frankie Banali's wife, Regina. Road Rage reached number 23 on Billboard's US Independent Albums chart, and it also got a decent album spot with a 72% rating from In Metal We Trust. Number 8, Down to the Bone, 1995. This one got a percentage higher and still another decent album from Quiet Riot, thanks to In Metal We Trust. I don't see what was so decent about this album, except when they covered a Kinks song, All Day and All of the Night. I'm sorry, but this one deserves to be in the bad albums category. Like, really bad. Number 7, Terrified, 1993. Speaking of Quiet Riot albums that deserve to be in the bad albums category, Terrified was released in July of 1993, which marked the return of frontman Kevin DuBrow after his firing in 1987. They once again covered a Small Faces tune, this time Ichiku Park. And this is the first Quiet Riot record not to feature longtime producer Spencer Proffer that didn't produce this record. This was not a commercial success, and In Metal We Trust had the nerve to call this a highly recommendable album with an 80% rating? Please. Number 6, Alive and Well, 1999. This was a Bob Marlette produced record featuring the band's cover of AC/DC's Highway to Hell. There were also 6 updated versions of Quiet Riot's hits from their glory years. This got an 82% rating and highly recommendable according to In Metal We Trust. Number 5, Guilty Pleasures, 2001. The final album for guitarist Carlos Cavazo and bassist Rudy Zarzo. Even though Rudy guest appeared on 2014's Quiet Riot 10, he would not rejoin the band until following the passing of drummer Frankie Banali. That lineup of DuBrow, Banali, Zarzo, and Cavazo wrote every song on this record, which is another highly recommended record with an 84% rating. What a magnum opus for the classic Metal Health era lineup. Number 4, Quiet Riot 3, 1986. Sticking to their melodic hard rock sound of Metal Health and Condition Critical, this one had added keyboards to the mix. The Wild and the Young is the only song that stood out from this record. I believe since this was the mid-80s, adding keyboards to their hard rock sound was the thing to do at that time that would make them more successful. Well, it failed to go gold and platinum in the States, Nonetheless, this got an 85% rating, meaning this is another highly recommendable record. Thank you, and in metal we trust. Number 3, QR 1988. Also known as either Quiet Riot 4 or QR4. This was the only Quiet Riot record to feature singer Paul Shortino, known for his time with the band called Rough Cut, and bassist Sean McNabb, who would later be the bass guitarist for bands like House of Lords, Great White, Dokken, and Lynch Mob. The only notable songs off this one are I'm Falling and Stay With Me Tonight. This was a heavy ballad-driven record. The songs themselves lack pop hooks. Nonetheless, this one gets an 86% rating, a highly recommendable record. Number 2, Condition Critical 1984. Once again, they cover a Slade song, Mama, We're All Crazy Now. This album went platinum and only went number 15 on the Billboard 200. This record started the band's downfall when Kevin DuBrow started to get a bad attitude towards the press and his fellow metal musicians, thinking that other bands out there owe their success to them. Bullshit. Despite failing to repeat the success of Metal Health, this record has some good songs like Bad Boy, Winner Takes All, Stomp Your Hands, Clap Your Feet, and the title track, Condition Critical. This record got an 87% rating, a highly recommendable record for sure. And number 1, Metal Health 1983. Quiet Riot's commercial breakthrough. This album made history, becoming the first heavy metal record to reach number 1 on the Billboard 200 and certified 6 times platinum, thanks to the hits like their rendition of Slade's Come On Feel the Noise, Bang Your Head Metal Health, and Slick Black Cadillac, a re-recorded track from Quiet Riot 2. This featured the classic lineup of Dubrow, Benali, Sarzo, and Caveso. Another 87% highly recommendable record, but you know what? I have to disagree. This gets a 90% for me because I call it a global masterpiece. Here is a quick recap of all of Quiet Riot's studio efforts. Now, taken from In Metal We Trust, the YouTube channel, these albums are ranked on personal interpretations of the album's value. While the first Quiet Riot may be their worst, Metal Health was, and always will be their best. For more rankings of albums such as this one, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.